This is the NFL Draft Report on 101 ESPN, featuring Tony Softli and Howard Balzer.
Time for another NFL Draft preview here on 101sports.com. I'm Howard Balzer. Tony Softli is with me, and we are so close, Tony, that when people are watching this after today, which is Monday, we will be in single digits days left until the draft. We are now at 10. It is crunch time now for all the teams. And one thing I wanted to discuss, we know that last week the Rams had a bunch of players in for visits, and a large percentage of those guys were running backs. I want to talk about some of those guys and who you rank, who you like the most of this group that includes Alex Green of Hawaii, Daniel Thomas of Kansas State, Stevan Ridley of Louisiana State, Jamie Harper of Fresno State. So 6 running backs the Rams had in for visits.
Yeah, you know what, and I like Mark Ingram right off the top, and we talked about him before, but you ranked him accordingly just the way I like him. I like Green right off the bat, University of Hawaii, 6 foot, 225, 4.45 at the combine. This guy has a gear change that is electrifying. He can stop and start and restart very quickly, and he kind of reminds me of Hightower down at Arizona. You know, only he's taller, he's bigger, and just as fast, maybe more explosive. You know, so but you know what? Out of the ones that they brought in, there was a couple more that I was surprised they didn't bring in that were like a change of pace type backs. Now I like Daniels from Kansas State, but you know what? Hunter from Oklahoma State, and I also like Williams from Virginia Tech. Both these guys are a little bit smaller in stature, very good receivers, very good run guys. They can run between the tackles. They can press it and bounce to outside for the long ball speed. They are change of pace backs. The ones that they brought in are more bangers. They're bigger guys.
More similar to Steven.
Exactly. Bigger stature, with the exception of Mark Ingram, who can do all of it. He can inside, outside, catch the ball. He can do it all.
I would argue that if the Rams don't get a receiver in the first round, which is probably 50-50 in terms of Julio Jones being available, if it comes to the second round and you have other receivers, and there's a bunch of real good ones, and some running backs that are good ones, all things being equal, if players are rated closely, I'd make the argument, you might disagree, I'd make the argument, I'd rather go with the running back because there's virtually no depth at running back right now. At least at receiver, while you can argue you don't have that one top guy, you have a decent group of receivers that has some depth. Whereas at running back, if you don't take one in that second round, then who knows? You're just flipping the coin the further you get into the draft.
Well, you know what? I'm going with the best available player at that position. It does at a position where it doesn't matter where they're ranked. Whoever is the best player on that board at that time, that's who they go with. And it doesn't matter by position.
That's what I'm saying. If it's receiver, running back, and you have them ranked and they're very close, then that's usually where you go for need.
If value is equal, always go for need.
And so which one do you think is needed more in the second round?
You know what? I would have to say both are equally needed, really, to be honest with you. They haven't been able to get a running back in the last 3 years. I know because I was sitting in that building. They need a running back. I think the important thing is what they do is they grab enough talent to surround Sam Bradford. That's the key, and help him, excel and ascend, and that's what's going to happen. And it'll really come down to Billy Devaney and coach on what they feel their highest need is. Now, if you're asking me, I'm taking the running back in the first round, and then I would take a defensive tackle or a wide receiver in the second.
And of course, we will be chronicling it all for you here on 101sports.com and on 101 ESPN with all of our coverage, videos, on the air, written word, you name it. We will have it for you at 101. Until next time, this has been another NFL Draft Preview. I'm Howard Balzer and Tony Softli.